They call this the Muskoka region, about a 2.5-hour drive on a good day north of Toronto. Because a lot of showbiz celebrities have summer homes here, Muskoka has been called by some the Malibu of Canada. I've been to Kelowna, BC, so I'm not buying that, except to say it's a beautiful area in any season. Well, this is the location for a huge international press launch that has lasted over 3 weeks. Why all the fuss? Well, the car is the S-Class, the epitome of luxury. And Mercedes-Benz is hardly being subtle in what it thinks of this newest edition, declaring the new S-Class the best vehicle in the world. Said this generation is the best vehicle in the world.
Yeah, what do you think? For me, it's the best car in the world because it gives the latest in technology, in safety and comfort, and it's such fun driving this car. It's such a good NVH and level, so it's very quiet and it's very safe. It's comfortable.
Well, we had to make sure that this was the evolution of the S-Class. We don't want to shock people ever with an S-Class, and I think you can see on the exterior design, it's very much a modern interpretation and evolution of what the S-Class should be for us. And then when you get to the interior of the vehicle, it's fantastic, completely redesigned from the ground up, and really with the fit, the finish, the craftsmanship, when you see and touch everything on the inside of this vehicle, it's really the finest interior we've ever put in a vehicle, and certainly we think one of the finest ever put in an automobile, period. I wouldn't say it's just a rich person's car, but obviously a vehicle, the outgoing S-Class started at just over $118,000. It's not going to be within everybody's budget, but that's why we have vehicles, that go across the lineup. That's why we have a B-Class and a C-Class and a GLK in Canada. We have something for everybody, but the S-Class is and remains the pinnacle of our lineup for sure.
There's way too much technology on this car to talk about. I mean, you can even get a hot massage by the seats, not a masseur. But what I really like is something called the Magic Body Control. Okay, you're about to hit a bump, like a speed bump. You brace yourself, and guess what? You feel nothing. It's like a hot knife through butter. It's pretty incredible. Unfortunately, it's only available on the rear-wheel drive S-Classes, and in Canada, we're just getting the 4MATIC.
When I drove the car, it kind of left me cold. I didn't feel any real emotion in the car. Now, we've had heated seats for a long time. We've had heated steering wheels. This one's got heated door panels. That's a real deal. Most of the technology that's in that car, either I would never use, the adaptive cruise control, or I hope I'd never use all that various crash safety stuff. For me, if I'm spending that kind of money, I'd want a car that has a bit more emotion in it. And something like the Jag XJ or the Cadillac XTS, frankly, is more entertaining to drive.
The system works with a stereo camera and with a radar system, and then it can detect pedestrians up to 72 kilometers per hour, and it can brake autonomously. And up to 50 kilometers per hour, it can avoid an accident with a pedestrian. And you did experience this today. It's really incredible. If you drive and the car is braking autonomously and it stops just 30 centimeters before the pedestrian, and you saved a life.
Okay, so very cool active safety, but watch this. Yes, it was supposed to stop. Now, that's another car maker's vehicle, but we've seen this happen before. We just happen to have our cameras rolling on this one, so buyer beware.
We get the newest and most powerful version of our 4.6-liter bi-turbo V8, so good for 449 horsepower, 516 pounds-feet of torque. But with fantastic fuel economy, when you consider how big this vehicle is and how much power it also has really fantastic fuel economy.
Now, like a lot of cars, this car is equipped with devices that give you autonomous driving, where the car can drive by itself while you sit back, read a book, or catch up on your emails. Now, they tell me this is the future. However, it's very refreshing to find that some of the smart people that design this technology, they're not buying it.
Well, I don't know if we want this. It depends on the situation. If you think of some stop-and-go situation, big traffic jam in a big city, you perhaps don't like to drive on your own. You would prefer the stop-and-go pilot to do this thing. if you have a beautiful road in a beautiful landscape with some beautiful, nice curves in it, you want to drive on your own. So it depends, I think, on the situation. But there are situations where autonomous driving is a real benefit.
I'm sure they'll do very well with it. It's a very strong sub-brand within the Mercedes brand itself, and I'm sure it'll be very successful.
Well, I spent the past 5 years with my team to develop this car, and for me it's one of the biggest moments in my life now that we can present this car to the press, and I'm very proud. Yeah, like all the engineers in Sindelfingen, in Germany, in Stuttgart.
Yes, there's competition, there's fierce competition, and that's good. It makes sure that we stay sharp as well, but I think especially with this new S-Class, we are the envy of our competitors.
So is the S-Class, as Mercedes claims, the best car in the world? Well, I used to own a '65 Triumph TR4 and thought it was the best car ever. But yeah, with a base price of $115,000, it should be good, and it is. I don't want to get too dramatic here. I mean, it is just a car. However, the S-Class is and always has been more than that. It's always been a test bed for cutting-edge technology that improves drivability as well as safety. And as we've seen, that technology will sooner or later trickle down to baby Benzes, and in the years to come, will be copied by other manufacturers. And for consumers, that is good news.